Oh yeah, that's just a normal reactive shot to hit through flinch. Hey friends, in today's video, I'll be talking about the horror story and what it brings to the table. I know it's unobtainable, but I do try to get these weapons myself so I can try them and review them, and the amount of time it's available to grab just isn't enough time to do the review. You can kind of see at a glance what's unique, and I try my best to mention that, but let's just look over here at D2 Foundry and see what it is. So off the rip, I think it's the combination of both under, over, and target lock at the same time. But when you consider that it's also a stasis energy type, the other unique thing is collective action, both of which will yield a 0.67 under certain circumstances. And those circumstances in this video is going to be collecting crystals on Titan and using the Mask of Bakris on Hunter. So you can see it drops it down to a 0.67. Unfortunately, the role I have does not have under over. Instead, it has dynamic sway, which I'm kind of happy about. But overall, if it's not going to be that unique perk combo, because look at what 7 Seraph Auto Rifle can get that exact same thing. I can go farm it right now if I want to. The difference between those two guns is 16 zoom versus 18 zoom. And you might notice that I have a hipfire grip on here. That is because when I'm aiming down sights against another target at medium distance, 52 range on this, I get flinched off the target. I'm zoomed in so much. If they start moving fast, I can't hit the time to kill. So target lock is kind of dead because I'm going to miss on 18 zoom. It's just not happening. At least a pulse rifle has the extra range drop off to justify that type of zoom. This just doesn't work for me. Maybe on controller it would feel better, but just not the case on mouse and keyboard, at least for my current skill. Definitely a skill issue. So utilizing the collective action build, here's how I do it. Hoarfrost Z to replace your barricade with a row of stasis crystals. You blow up those stasis crystals for tectonic harvest. You maybe use a glacier nade for the same thing. You can also slide through them with cryoclasm. And you also get overshield from Rhyme. Collective action activates. You now have a 0.67 time to kill. And by using elemental charge in your boot, you can also stasis weapon surge so that maybe you can 0.67 somebody else. A low resilience hunter, for example. And since I'm collecting crystals anyway, this is where fonts come in. And not a lot of builds utilize these, but Behemoth is really the only class that can do it consistently. You can make up a Frankenstein build that has 10 mobility, 10 resilience, and 10 recovery at all times, assuming you're playing with other Behemoth Titans to keep your tectonic harvest flowing. This is what the builds look like. There's Font of Vigor, so my 4 strength goes to 7. Then we have Font of Wisdom, so my 6 intellect goes to 9. Of course, standard targetings. Making sure I go through all the perks here. Chest pieces, of course, triple unflinching for stasis weapon, which is kind of unique for it. Demolitionist also kind of pairs nice with this, since I need my grenade to keep the engine going. But I would also say under over makes sense in case you encounter a mirror match. To pair with this, I just went with a variety of shotguns. I tried the wave frames, but the handling is too abysmal to use it as like a swap idea. So really, this is just if you like Behemoth and want to contribute to your team being stronger as a unit, if you go Hoarfrost, they don't have to spec into strength whatsoever, and as long as they occasionally move near you, they'll have their entire strength cooldown because of Tectonic Harvest. And it doesn't even have to be Titans. It could be Hunters and Warlocks that are also stasis. It could be an Arthras Embrace Hunter. Speaking of Hunter, let's go show what my Hunter's using. Hunter has dynamic sway and target lock. Unfortunately, it did not get the magazine perk I would have wanted, and if I go extended mag, it actually ruins target lock. So I have to go flared mag wall. It really doesn't have the range to compete, and I find that often I'm in SMG's lethal distance when I'm using this anyway. So this brings us to the final part of the video where I show you that Unending Tempest gets that Titan combo. It gets collective action, and it gets target lock. You could argue that you can have more range on the auto rifle, but this is where I would say I think the ease of use of the SMG makes way more sense. And there's a possibility that you get just a good utility build set up here, where you have 3 perks on each column. One of them's moving target, another one is under over, another one is target lock, another one is collective action, another one is cascade point, and you can just switch between all of them to fit your needs, and it saves like 10 vault spaces right there. I think I am going to delete these horror stories though. I didn't target grind for these. I was going for macabras. But anyway, this is the build. Valkyris, 3 targetings, a siphon. Stasis, dexterity for when I switch to my shotgun, heavy-handed. To, in a pinch, use the shuriken to create an orb and get health off of it. 1 stasis surge to deal with other hunters. Holsters so I can play more aggressively with my shotgun. Triple and flinching. Time dilation to extend it. Utility kickstart like kind of makes sense, but realistically, I use Valkyris aggressively, so I will trade with it. And since I'm in the spawn screen anyway, my next spawn, I don't have the Valkyris penalty. It's great. I use Shatter Dive, mostly for movement, even on controller, and Slow Dodge with a normal Cold Snap. Sometimes I use a normal Glacier to get into weird pigeon spots on the map, and I believe that the fragments I chose are really just for stats, at least Recov and Shards. Durance to extend the slow from the dodge, and Torment so I have more nades to play around with. That's really all it has going for it. So ultimately, I'm not keeping Horror Story. I will delete it. I will use an Unending Tempest, or I will farm for a 7 Seraph Carbine if I ever want to use that. Enjoy the gameplay though. I don't remember exactly what gameplay, but there were a couple hot moments with this. And if it's your favorite weapon and I shit talked it too much, I'm sorry. It is all personal preference at the end of the day. It's whatever you are comfortable hitting your shot with. I just miss with this one. I can't do it. See y'all in the next. I'm getting hit by the archaeologist ball. I need my Glacier for this angle. Let's condition them to shooting at head level though for a little bit. Yep, that's Ace of Spades. Oh, it's trying to. Oh! If you get cloud striked, I swear. He traded, that's fine. Nice, we got power in C. Last word sniper shameful? Nah. It's the effort level that controller has versus M&K with that loadout that people were mad about, which is valid. But you can also be a controller player and be mad about M&K being able to hip fire and use hand cannons more effectively. Enemy team's losing. What's our power ammo timer? See what I mean, man? It's a firing line. You're gonna chow. About time for power ammo. I like that sequence. I like that sequence a lot. I think that's it. Nail in the coffin for this gameplay. I neglected to mention the older brother of the horror story, the Braytech werewolf. And this role comes from collections. Assuming that you played that event, you can just pull this from collections. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I know on my alt account, I just can't pull this whatsoever. So, I am going to delete this horror story. And this one. F's in the chat. May you end up in some other Guardian's inventory who enjoys them.